So, yesterday, probably by the time I get this video done, Nintendo released two Pokemon games on the Switch Online. Pokemon Trading Card game, which was a black cartridge game for the Game Boy Color, and Pokemon Stadium 2 for the N64. While it's been 20 years since I played either of these games, I decided to pick them up and play them some, and ask myself, are these still worth people's time? Let's start off with the Pokemon Trading Card game. And Nintendo, can I ask, where's the rare Pokemon card that you're telling me is inside this? What do you mean that was for the physical release 20 years ago? Oh, fudge. Anyways, the game itself is actually pretty good. If you have ever played the Pokemon Trading Card game, you basically draw Pokemon cards, summon and bench Pokemon, you can evolve them once a turn, and then for the strategy to the deck building, it's about figuring out what type of energy cards and using them in combat effectively. Claim all the prize cards or knock out all your opponent's Pokemon on their bench, and you win. The game does have an RPG feel to it, and they even have a rival that's a bit of a jerk. Remember when Pokemon rivals were people you wanted to beat the tar out of, instead of feeling guilty that you just took their dream away? Yeah, I do. Anyways, the game's main problem is the AI being on the Game Boy Color. It's a bit brain dead and does make some wrong moves. But oh, don't worry, it's still challenging enough because it cheats and cheats like hell. Anytime it flips a coin, it's going to win. Flip a coin and paralyze a Pokemon, you're thinking, okay, maybe 1 or 2 moves, 3 at most last. Try 7 or 8 turns. I finally get to make a move after like 9 turns of getting Leer used on. The probability of a real world coin flip being that lucky is like 1 in 1,000, and the computer will get these quite a bit. I don't know 100% if it's necessarily cheating, but I will call it a bunch of Tauros crap. Which is such a shame. I would have loved a Pokemon trading card game with better AI and a better coin flipping algorithm that was a legit challenge. Still, if you're into playing the Pokemon trading card game like it was when Wizard of the Coast was still publishing it, then this game is definitely worth a try. I do have a casual recommendation for it. The next game I'm going to be covered, however, isn't worth your time. Don't get me wrong, if Nintendo was going to re-release this, then the Switch Online service is the best way to do it. There is no way in hell I would pay $10 for this on a virtual console. Don't get me wrong, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 for the actual N64 were fun games to play if you loved the Pokemon Game Boy games. It let you play the games on the TV and even lets you speed up the gameplay. Then you could take your Pokemon from the game packs and play them in full color in 3D, something the Game Boy couldn't do. It also functions like the Battle Tower modes and more modern Pokemon games, giving you more challenging battles, making you think about stats and special moves of your Pokemon beyond what the Game Boy games could do. And there were even prizes that you could import back to their games. Unfortunately, the Switch does not have any way to emulate the original Pokemon Game Boy games for this, nor does it let you play them or do anything about the fact that, the original Pokemon Stadium was about this importation. Merely selecting the Game Boy Tower gives you the screen that says you don't have a game in the transfer pack, and that is it. This is such a shame. So what do you have left if you can't import anything from one of the Game Boy games of either Generation 1 or 2? Well, a bare-boned hollow experience. You get some mini games and you can still take the challenges, but you have to use rental Pokemon, which you did not raise or customize and have no control over moves or stats. This really hollows out the fun. At least the announcer and the animation and the battles still hold up and are still pretty good. Still, I do hope Nintendo and Game Freak do update this one that lets me play some version of the classic Pokemon games. If they did that, then this would get my highest recommendation. Right now, the best Pokemon N64 game on the Switch Online is still Pokemon Puzzle League. This is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like.
All complete. Now's the time to attack. The number of remaining Pokemon is 2-1. The tense battle continues. It restored its HP.